because I'm telling you, I had no clue until I broke it. Then I did all kinds of research on it. Apparently it's like a mountain climber break, very common for people who climb mountains. So I fell with the force of somebody falling off of a mountain. Hey guys, this is Felicia from Saddle Stories, where we tell stories from the saddle. Today I want to talk to you guys about my heart horse. It was the first horse that I ever bought with my own money. This is outside of horses that I took lessons on or leased. She was my first horse that I actually purchased. I purchased her when I was 15 and nobody could stop me. I saved up the money on my own. I got 10 months worth of board to make sure that I could pay for her, even if my side jobs decided to slow down and I couldn't earn the money that month. I had extra money for it. My parents didn't even know that I was buying a horse because they didn't know anything about horses. It was my best friend and her family that introduced me to horses, that, you know, worked for all my lessons, that, you know, helped me lease a horse and all of this. So my parents were completely clueless. They had no clue of anything to do with the horse world. I took my grandfather and was like, hey, I need you to sign this. And he's like, what is this? And I was like, well, because I'm under 18, I can't legally buy something. So you have to sign it so that I can buy it. And I, you know, have all the money and everything and it's all right here. And he's like, okay, but what are you buying? Just a horse. It's fine. Just sign it. And he did. Yeah, there was no telling me no when it came to horses. If you have a heart horse that you want to talk about, oh my gosh, I'm covering the camera. If you have a heart horse that you want to tell me about, down in the comments, I would love to hear, especially if you had a great story, if you had that perfect horse, or if you were like me and you decided that you loved this horse that was all wrong for you and yet somehow all right. My horse, her name was Sweden with 2 N's, and her sire was London with 2 N's. If you have updated information and you happen to know these horses, if you want to provide that, that'd be awesome. I was lucky enough to reunite with the gal that I had purchased my heart horse from, and she gave me like photos and the backstory of how she came to rescue her, and about, like, I got pictures of her in Tevis, and it was awesome. But her father, I don't know too much about, other than he had escaped and accidentally impregnated the neighbor's mare, and Sweden was born. So anyway, she would not walk. She pranced on the trail all the time. She would not stand to be saddled or tied. She would dance around, and it was acrobatics to get her saddle and her cinch on. If I took her out to the lake, because I'm lucky enough to live, well, I don't know if I'd call it riding distance now, but riding distance, it was only about 4 miles away to the lake. And then she knew that once we got to the lake, I would let her run her little heart out on the beach. Because, you know, it was fun. So as long as I let her do that run, then, you know, we were all good and we were best buddies. If we started heading back home and I hadn't let her have her run yet, oh, well, we just weren't going home. Like, that's not the deal. The deal is I behave and you give me what I want. Lots of fun stories with that. So she was my little heart horse. I did all the stupid teenage things on her. I rode her to my high school that was like 7 miles away and ran around in our field and got yelled at. I rode her through the Wendy's drive-through because all my friends worked at Wendy's, and they would give me free Frosties. I would ride her to my friend's house because, as I said, I was 15. I did not have even a learner's permit at this point, let alone a driver's license or a car, because I spent all my money on my horse instead of my car. So I used to ride her to my friend's house, and I just put her in their backyard and hang out and play video games, do homework, and then I'd saddle her back up and I'd ride her back to the barn where my parents would pick me up after they got off work at like 6 or 7 o'clock in the evening. Gosh, I did Tevis with her. I did trail patrol with her. I did all kinds of just stupid things that now I would be so scared to do. But with her, I was like, oh, it sounds like fun. Let's just do it. And that horse had my back. Like, for all of her faults and for all of the things that were so annoying, that horse had my back no matter what. No matter what I wanted to do, she was like, yeah, sounds like fun. Let's go. And that's why she was my heart horse. Now, this also ruined me. So let's get to the caption of the video, because I thought, I knew it all. So that means that when she got to the ripe old age of, I want to say 28, we both came to the communal conclusion that it was time for her to retire. So she was no longer my riding horse. So I got a second horse the year before, because I knew she was coming to the end of her riding days, and started working with him. And my first ride, I did not have a saddle that fit him. And so I said, it's fine. I ride bareback all the time. And so I rode out in the field, because I'm smart, in a saddle. My third ride on him ever, because the other two rides were, when I was looking to be interested in buying him. I have done little to no groundwork with him at this point. And within, I think it was like the first point that I asked him to trot, he was okay walking around and everything was good. And my friend was riding my heart horse to, get her some exercise and to give him some company. I was at least smart enough to do that. Or dumb enough, I don't know. But anyway, so that I was like, hey, let's trot. And I asked him to trot. He started bucking up a storm. Well, I have done a lot of emergency dismounts in my life on my 1.5 horse, who is my heart horse, that I thought I could do it. So when I decided on this 15.3 quarter horse who was bucking up a storm, that I could just emergency dismount off of him, it didn't work as well. I landed right in a ditch, my ankle dislocated, and the weight of my body falling onto my dislocated ankle broke my talus in half at the head and the neck, which for any of you who even know what the talus is, because I'm telling you, I had no clue until I broke it. Then I did all kinds of research on it. Apparently it's like a mountain climber break, very common for people who climb mountains. So I fell with the force of somebody falling off of a mountain. So anyway, worst possible break. They thought that I was going to have to get an ankle replacement, at the very least an ankle fusion. I refused all of it. I did all of the things. Oh my gosh. I did all the homeopathic stuff. I did all of the woo-woo voodoo stuff. Anything that you told me was going to help me, I did it. So who knows which one of those things actually helped. But anyway, I now have a fun scar and some screws. But other than that, a fully functional ankle. So that's a side note. And that's where all of my fear happened. And that's where all of a sudden I was terrified of riding. And it turned into this long 8-year journey that got me back to my second heart horse, who was just as bratty when I met her and had just as many bad habits. Only this time I was a little bit wiser, and we have learned to work through them instead of me just going, oh, this is fun. So again, I want you guys to comment below. Tell me about your heart horse. Were they an angel? Were they a devil disguised as an angel, or an angel disguised as a devil? I think mine was an angel who disguised herself as a devil, because everybody else hated her but me. And with me, I could do no wrong with this horse. And she was everything. It was amazing. Or if you've had your overconfidence cause you to have an injury, I want to hear about those too. So that's it for this video, because it was already a little bit of a long video. And as I've already disclaimed, I have no idea what I'm doing. So sorry for the covering up of the camera for the camera switching around because my arms are getting tired holding it up as I ride now with no hands because I'm smart. Anyway, continue watching for more backstory and more tips on how I have gone from somebody who was completely ignorant to horses to somebody who was terrified to even lead a horse to now being able to ride out in the open all by myself again. See you next time. And remember, life's a journey, so let's ride together.